There are moments when certain behaviors seem inevitable, almost like an escape amidst chaos. These behaviors usually begin subtly, emerging as an attempt to avoid persistent feelings of discomfort or emptiness. Over time, these choices evolve into habits, and what initially seemed like a temporary solution becomes a destructive cycle. The search for fleeting relief and a brief sense of peace gradually transforms into a self-destructive routine. But what lies at the heart of this cycle? What drives a person to incessantly seek something they know is harmful? The truth is that these behaviors often stem from deeper wounds, attempts to fill a void that seems impossible to satisfy. This void is not only emotional but also spiritual, representing a disconnection from the self. People do not act solely in search of pleasure or immediate relief. They are driven by a more intrinsic need to reconnect with something essential that is missing in their lives. This search, even if unconscious, can be seen as a desperate effort to heal invisible wounds that shape our choices. Even though, on the surface, it may seem like a path of destruction, it is often a veiled quest for meaning, an attempt to make sense of internal suffering and find a lost balance. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to sink into addictions with no apparent way back, while others mysteriously escape these temptations? Addiction is one of the most complex and challenging issues of the human psyche. In our society, it manifests in various forms, from substance abuse to compulsive behaviors, often hiding a profound existential void. What lies behind this almost uncontrollable need to escape reality? Is it merely a lack of willpower, or is there something deeper that most of us fail to see? C.G. Jung, one of the great minds of analytical psychology, viewed addiction not as a mere moral failure or character weakness, but as an expression of a psyche in imbalance. When an individual cannot confront their internal conflicts, they may seek relief in addictive behaviors that temporarily numb deeper emotional pain. For Jung, addiction represents a symbolic attempt to deal with these conflicts, a misguided effort to achieve psychological balance. In the book In the Realm of Hungry Ghosts, Dr. Gabor Maté, one of the leading experts on addiction, states that addictive behaviors are often rooted in unresolved trauma or emotional pain. These behaviors serve as coping mechanisms, albeit destructive ones, to alleviate psychological wounds. Maté explains that addiction is any repeated behavior, involving substances or not, that the individual feels compelled to continue despite negative consequences. These behaviors often provide temporary relief, but fail to address underlying issues. When we think of addictions, we usually focus on substances like alcohol or drugs. However, behavioral addictions, such as excessive use of social media, gambling, or compulsive shopping, can be equally harmful. Maté emphasizes that any passion can turn into an addiction. The key to distinguishing one from the other lies in control. Does the individual control their behavior, or is the behavior controlling them? Dependency arises as a defense mechanism against deeper pains. Studies indicate that many individuals facing severe addictions have histories of trauma, abuse, or emotional neglect. Jung observed that these early experiences leave lasting marks on the psyche, increasing vulnerability to addiction. The emotional scars left by these experiences often manifest as a void, driving individuals to seek external sources of comfort or escape. Even those with stable childhoods are not immune to addiction. The pressures of modern society, consumerism, technological dependence, and the pursuit of instant gratification create fertile ground for addictive behaviors. According to Maté, the cultural obsession with acquisitions and appearances only deepens the spiritual void, leaving many individuals disconnected and empty. In a society where personal value is often measured by external standards, internal disconnection becomes almost inevitable. Social media, for instance, perpetuates cycles of comparison and validation, further feeding the sense of inadequacy. This environment creates perfect conditions for the emergence of behavioral addictions, where temporary escape becomes the only valve of relief against existential emptiness. Breaking the cycle of addiction begins with self-awareness. Jung believed that transformation is only possible through introspection and the recognition of internal forces that shape our behaviors. This process allows individuals to analyze the emotions and traumas sustaining their addiction, offering the opportunity to replace destructive patterns with healthier alternatives. However, reflection requires courage and patience, as we often confront aspects of ourselves we would rather avoid. With continuous practice of self-observation, we can gradually rewrite our narratives and build a more solid foundation for true emotional and spiritual freedom. Addressing addiction also involves confronting the shadow, a central concept in Jungian psychology. The shadow represents the hidden and repressed aspects of the psyche, those we often prefer to avoid, such as fears, repressed desires, and unresolved conflicts. Ignoring these elements can lead to psychological imbalances, as the shadow, when neglected, tends to manifest in harmful ways. However, by recognizing and integrating these hidden parts, individuals begin to uncover deep layers of themselves, initiating the journey of individuation. This process, described by Jung as essential for psychological growth, is not limited to passive acceptance but involves an active effort of self-exploration and reconciliation. Integrating the shadow is not merely an exercise in self-awareness. It is a way to free oneself from the invisible chains that limit the true expression of the self. Throughout this journey, self-acceptance emerges as a key element, allowing the individual to find balance and authenticity amidst life's challenges. In addition to internal work, social support plays a crucial role in recovery. Jung emphasized the importance of relationships in shaping the psyche. Support groups, friends, and family provide a safe space for individuals to share their experiences and find encouragement. These connections promote a sense of belonging and responsibility, essential for sustainable recovery. In moments of doubt or relapse, a strong support system can offer the strength and motivation needed to continue the journey. Moreover, recovery is not just about breaking habits, but about rebuilding life patterns and rediscovering the true self. Jung saw addiction as a symptom of a deeper spiritual crisis, a disconnection from the self. Healing, therefore, requires a reconnection with one's inner essence, fostering a sense of purpose and meaning. Overcoming addiction is a multifaceted process involving self-awareness, social connections, and the courage to confront one's demons. It is a journey that demands patience, persistence, and compassion. Although the path may be challenging, it leads to profound personal transformation and the possibility of a more authentic and fulfilling life.